This is the world's first 5K gaming monitor. What's up guys, I'm Mike. I'm an ultra competitive gamer and I've spent years learning how to tune and optimize PCs so that I can have the ultimate competitive advantage. But it doesn't just stop with PCs. I'm always looking for peripherals that either give me an edge or just increase the quality of the experience. So in today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at the ASUS ROG XG27JCG, the world's first 5K gaming monitor, and it promises to deliver a ton. So in today's video, we're gonna try and answer the question if it's worth your hard-earned money or if you should pass on it and wait for the next one. One thing to mention before we dive into it is that I did purchase this monitor myself with my own money. This is not a sponsored video, so all of these thoughts and opinions are expressly my own. So without further ado, let's get after it. This monitor comes in ASUS's eco-friendly packaging. It's a pretty much no frills unboxing experience. It's basic cardboard with no graphics on it, and it comes with basically the bare minimum that you need to get things going. I was surprised when I unboxed it that it only came with the monitor stand, the DisplayPort cable, which is a DisplayPort 1.4, a power cable, and then a couple of pamphlets and a warranty card. Usually my unboxing experiences with ROG in particular are, a lot more premium, or at least they feel more premium. I know usually that's with their PG line, but only having 2 cables included with this one was a first for me. But at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter. It delivers on what it promises, and it's a great monitor overall. Another weird thing about the unboxing is that this monitor ships with the monitor arm attached to the monitor. And it's different from their OLED displays where the monitor stand just kind of clips in and clips out. It's actually attached and you have to pry open the plastic housing on the back to detach it. Just be careful if you are planning on getting this monitor and VESA mounting it. I would have a plastic pry tool. Don't use a screwdriver because you'll totally scratch up the back of it. But the stand itself is great. It comes with that flat base that doesn't take up any desk space. You can throw peripherals and whatever you want on top of it, so that's fantastic. It's got full height adjust, tilt, swivel, pivot, it's got it all. So overall, the stand is fantastic. In terms of build quality, it's not super premium. It's pretty plasticky, which for a monitor that costs $850, I'd like to see it be a little bit nicer, but it gets the job done to say the least. Now for the important thing, the specs. This monitor is the first ever 5K gaming monitor. It packs a 5K resolution at 165 Hertz, which can be overclocked to 180 Hertz, and it comes with the gray to gray 0.3 millisecond response time. Well, being that the response time is a little slower than OLED, 0.3 milliseconds for Fast IPS is blazing quick. And if that isn't enough speed for you, you can change it with the dual mode functionality to 1440p 330 Hertz. If you've never heard of 5K resolution before, that resolution is 5120 by 2880. That's a ton of pixels. That's 14.7 million pixels to be exact, which is a 77.7% increase of 4K. So if you're trying to run this monitor at a full frame rate, that's a ton of data to deliver, and you're gonna need a high-end GPU to do so. But at 27 inches, it's got a PPI, which is pixels per inch, or a pixel density of 218. And that's a 33% increase over a 4K monitor of the same size, which has a PPI of 163. And everyone who reviewed the PG27 UCDM in the past year has said that that seems so sharp, and this just turns it up to 11. So a monitor with this amount of pixel density, or PPI, is what Apple would refer to as a Retina display, meaning that your eyes can't physically see the pixels at a normal viewing distance. As for the coating, this comes with a matte anti-reflective coating. So it's the same coating that they're using on their ProArt 5K display. It would be my first choice for a coating, but it still delivers on what it promises. So while this monitor is kind of marketed as a 5K future-proof gaming beast, it really has an interesting quirk to it. First of all, ASUS recommends having at least a 50 series GPU to be able to drive it at 5K 180 Hertz. But the monitor itself only has a DisplayPort 1.4 cable. So you're gonna have to use DSC, display stream compression, to be able to hit the 5K at 180 Hertz. In 2026, You'd expect it to be DisplayPort 2.1, especially for the data that 5K 180 needs in order to run. And we're really pushing the limits of DisplayPort 1.4 to hit those frame rates. Beyond that DisplayPort 1.4 connection, this also comes with two HDMI 2.1 ports, has a USB-C port that you can use for DisplayPort, and then it also has 15 watts of power delivery. It also has USB hubs and a 3.5mm headphone jack. So what's this thing like to actually use? Well, the only way I could really describe it is addicting, at least for me. I've been on OLED since they came out with the original Alienware ultra-wide and the 27-inch LG 1440p. And once I went with OLED for my main gaming display, I swore I would never go back. Well, I might have to eat my words on that one, because the sharpness of this 5K monitor with gaming, it honestly makes me feel like I'm playing a new game when I'm playing the same game I've been playing for years. I did, however, notice a slight amount of motion blur coming from OLED directly over to this IPS display. It's still very good. It took me just a little bit to adjust, and after about an hour or two, my eyes completely adjusted and it's completely usable. But there was a slight amount of motion blur in comparison to OLED. I didn't notice any ghosting or smearing on the screen with this, so I'm not saying that, but there is a slight difference between this and an OLED display. The colors seem super accurate out of the box. I'm not a professional colorist, nor am I doing any super critical color work, so don't just take my word for it, but for my use, colors are more than acceptable and I don't have any complaints there. Skin tones on videos seemed spot on, and I really didn't have to tweak any settings to get the monitor to go there, so it seems like it's pretty much good to go out of the box. And that makes sense considering that ASUS has their 5K ProArt display, which is designed for color critical work, so I'm guessing it's pretty much the same panel with a faster refresh rate. But if you are doing color critical work and it's really important to you, my recommendation would be to watch more reviews or wait for somebody who can test it scientifically and guarantee the color accuracy to you. Another key feature that makes this monitor fantastic is the dual mode, or the frame rate boost mode as ASUS has it listed in the OSD. And that's where you switch it to 1440p 330 Hz. Dual modes of the past have been 4K and 1080p because of the integer scaling. And to me, the 1080p mode just really isn't usable. In today's day and age, 1080p looks so blurry, and I would never recommend using that mode, especially in the 32-inch monitors that those have primarily been on. But the 1440p mode is fantastic. You can absolutely use it. It's still sharp enough, especially at a 27-inch screen. It still looks great. And I honestly forgot how good 1440p looks, because when you're using a 4K monitor and you downscale to 1440p, again, it's not perfect scaling, so it just looks softer than it should on a 4K monitor. But with this, it's got perfect scaling and it works great. I will say though, for me, once you see the higher resolution, it's so tough to go back. You know, after you're playing in 5K, especially if you could max it out at 180 frames, going to 1440p, even though I was getting 300 frames of my testing on the same game, it just didn't feel quite as good. So I'm gonna have to skip that one. But at least it's there if you want it. And if you have a GPU that maybe can't max out that frame rate in a certain game, it's there and you'll be able to get that higher frame rate if needed. But I think there's definitely a competitive advantage to playing at a higher resolution, whether it's 4K or 5K. If you can see things more clearly and identify enemies quicker, you're gonna play better. So I think there's a point of diminishing return after you hit a certain amount of FPS. And I don't know if that's 180 or 240, but I don't feel like I'm any slower playing at 180 frame rate versus a 330 frame rate. So I've been using this monitor for about a week now. I've been using it primarily in 5K mode with overclocking turned on, so it bumps the frame rate to 180. Now, when you do turn on the OC mode, it puts a prompt up on the screen that says, hey, if you're overclocking it, the screen could flicker, and if it flickers, consider turning it off or going to a lower frame rate. I've only encountered this issue once, and it happened after playing games for a few hours. I exited the application, I was back on the Windows home screen, and the screen started flickering. So I figured I would just turn off the monitor, turn it back on. That didn't work. After a few minutes, I decided just to reset the PC, and that fixed it. I haven't encountered that problem again, but it is something to note as you may run into that problem in the future. While this monitor is fantastic, I think there's some room for improvement still. There's no perfect monitor out there, and if I were to give ASUS some suggestions for a future iteration, this is what I'd say. First of all, I would love to see this with a glossy coating. Something about a gloss coating just gives it more of a window-like appearance where it just looks like you're staring into a different dimension. And that's personal preference. It's gonna depend on you and your lighting environment. But for me, I prefer glossy coatings. The matte coating's not a deal breaker, but if it was gonna be my perfect monitor, it would definitely have their true black glossy coating. Also, if this monitor was an OLED, oh my, would it be perfect. I mean, to have instantaneous response times and just pure, clear motion clarity, it would just make this monitor endgame for me. And I don't really like saying endgame, but if it was an OLED with a 5K 240 and a 1440p 480, I just think it would be just a masterpiece. So hopefully they come out with that soon. I'm sure that ASUS is just waiting for the panel manufacturers to make a panel like that, and they're just giving us as much as they can, as quick as they can, and that's what we have in this current version. And lastly, I think DisplayPort 2.1 should have been on this monitor. It definitely needs to be on the next one. It's 2026. Every monitor that is coming out, at least a high-end one, should have at least DisplayPort 2.1. So who's this monitor for? Well, I think it's for anybody who really enjoys high resolution gaming. On top of that, I think it's really for somebody who is a part-time creator or does some sort of professional work, color grading, video editing, something like that, and then also likes to play games. This monitor is just such a Swiss Army knife. You know, it can do office work really well, it games really well, it can game in different resolutions. I mean, it just does it all. And I haven't been this excited about a piece of tech in quite a while. It's a reminder for me of why I do this and why I'm so passionate about it. The feeling I get when I'm really enjoying a brand new piece of tech and it's just something that nobody's really ever used before. To be playing in 5K at 200 FPS is just wild. I mean, a few years ago, 1080p was the standard and it was hard to run. And now we're playing 5K 200. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So it's just a reminder to me how excited I am for the future and what's about to come. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're on a mission to hit 1,000 subs. So if you liked this video and you found it helpful, please consider subscribing. We'll have more content, some 5K benchmarks and other things coming very, very soon. In addition, if you have any questions, feedback, or anything else, please leave a comment down below. Let me know, will you be picking this thing up? Are you waiting for something else? And what would you change about it to make it your perfect gaming monitor? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.